What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 10 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. This is another game from the Battle Frontier tournament featuring my ZooPals team. So hopefully this is going to be my last match for this tournament just because I do have to drop for some other stuff. So hopefully we can do well. So looking at my opponent's team, all right, it is a Calyrex team. So it is Indeedee with Urshifu, Calyrex, a Wimmy, Mineshao, and Ditto. So this is scary. Ditto actually makes this really tricky. Instant is a must. Rillaboom is a must. So what I could actually do, I could do Zoopal, or I could do Water Core. I want. Let's try the standard 4 of Incin, Rilla with Toad and Zacian. Because what I'm thinking is this gives me the strongest sort of options. The big fear is Mineshao. Mineshao just threatens a ton of damage into Incineroar. So we would have to kind of bait that out with something like the Zacian to take a hit or two. But yeah, this is tricky. Ditto makes it hard too. What makes Ditto really hard is if it copies Zacian, it will not only get the boost that Zacian has, it will also trigger Intrepid Sword again. So it does, I'm pretty sure, have a guaranteed KO into us. So that is unfortunate. We are going to see Mineshao with Wimmy. So lead of Mineshao and Wimmy, which is fine for us, right? Because what Mineshao can just easily go for close combat onto Incin to guarantee the KO. So what I think I want to do is swap out. Right? We're going to swap out into Zacian here and go for a fake out just onto the Whimsicott. Just trying to get some damage. The question, I'm assuming the Sash is on Mineshao. And what's actually really scary, what I think would be scariest is if they have Ditto with Choice Scarf, because then what they can do is they can get in a position where they can kind of just sweep really aggressively with Behemoth Blade. And I don't have, I mean, I do have Incin for that, but it's just like, it's so tricky. Let's see. So we are going to switch out. We're not going to see a switch from them. It is going to be good to know if Whimsicott has Protect. I'm guessing it does, just given the fact that it is staying in and most likely does not have a Sash. So we are going to see, okay, so we are going to see a Fake Out come through. And we do see the close combat from the Mineshao, which does a lot more than I would have liked. But we are going to be able to... I think Grassy Glide should be able to KO Mineshao. And so what I want to do is I want to go for a Sacred Sword here and a Grassy Glide into Mineshao, because that way even if they set up Tailwind, we are going to get some big damage onto it. The fear is going to be Whimsicott, right? I mean, not Whimsicott, is Indeedee. But I feel like it's hard to justify Indeedee in this situation, just given the... Okay, so we do see Wimmy does not have the Sash. We do see Sash on Mineshao, which makes a lot of sense, as they are going to go for another close combat just into Zacian, which makes sense, like, hey, chip away at it, not Sash. And Tailwind, which is great, because, right, we can go for a Behemoth Blade turn 1 into Whimsicott to guarantee they can't get up a Tailwind. But Tailwind isn't super scary. I am not worried about Calyrex. Like I said, we do have ways of dealing with it with Rillaboom. It is super especially bulky and does have the Assault Vest. Oh, this is bad. Because what I just realized is the spot in front of Zacian is open. So if they have Ditto in the back, Ditto will... Yep. Ditto is going to become Zacian. Okay, so they have a Zacian at +2. Which, because, yep, they're going to copy the boost. And they're going to get Intrepid Sword. So what we can do is we protect Zacian. Go for a knockoff onto Ditto. Right? Because I need to know what item Ditto has. And luckily, I mean, this is really tricky. I don't actually know if I should be able to knock off, right? Because of the fact that this isn't actually a Zacian, this is a Ditto. So we can see what hold item it has, because that's also going to play a pretty big role. But I'm guessing it's Choice Scarf. I feel like that, yeah, Choice Scarf just makes the most sense. This is going to be hard just due to the fact that I should lose to a +1 from them. Okay, so they are gonna Behemoth Blade into the Zacian slot, as we are gonna see a close combat come into Rillaboom a little bit more than I would have liked, in all honesty. But let's see what this Ditto has. This Ditto has a Choice Scarf, which actually is unfortunate. That's actually not ideal for us, because now what's going to happen is they are going to be able to switch up their moves, versus if we had kept it as Choice Scarf, we could have, yeah, so what we actually should have done is we should have brought out Incin while it was Choice Scarfed and gone for a Glide onto Mind Chow. Yeah, because now what? We still have to deal with Calyrex in the back. Not to mention this, the Zacian is at +1. When that was a huge mistake, actually, to knock off their Choice Scarf, because now, like I said, they can freely switch in and use Sacred Sword, versus now originally it was just like, okay, you don't have to worry about that. So I should have protected Zacian, so that way we would have scouted out what move they use, go for a Grassy Glide into the Mind Chow to pick up the knockout, so that way Rillaboom is going to be in a position to endgame versus the Calyrex, versus now it's just like a little bit trickier. But we are gonna pick up the knockout onto Mind Chow. I think this could still be winnable if they call it. I mean, it was a okay, that's huge. Is it? It's actually not. Okay, so Rillaboom is over half. And so we do have a guaranteed fake out into their Zacian. And we do have Politoed in the back. Right? Okay, so we can go for a fake out. We fake out their Zacian. And we go for a knockoff onto their Calyrex, which does not have. We do fake out here, and we go for a knockoff onto Calyrex. This should pick up the knockout. But the big question still is, how do I beat this Ditto in the endgame? Because it is a Zacian, and Sacred Sword will KO Rillaboom. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to. Okay, so what we need to lose. So we have to lose Incineroar. So we're gonna see no Protect, which is great to know. It's most likely going to be Life Orb on the Calyrex. We are going to see the Astral Barrage, so this is great, right? Because they're going to go for Astral Barrage and pick up the knockout onto Incin. Rillaboom is going to hang on. So we are going to be able to, what is it called? We are going to be able to get off the knockoff onto Calyrex and pick up the knockout, which is huge. Because now, let's see what item it has, right? Do we find out if we... I'm guessing it was Specs. So we don't see the item, but looking at how much it did... actually, no. Oh, Spell Tag. So we see Spell Tag. What do I do? Our Zacians have a speed tie. Yes, okay. Yes, they have no Choice Scarf anymore. So they copy my stats, so they have the same speed as me. So what we have to do is we have to get the what is it called? We have to win the speed tie to Behemoth Blade into them, and we want to go for a U-turn. Let's go for a U-turn, because then I have... okay, so we win the speed tie, which is great. I don't know. This should not actually do that much into them, because this... should do... Okay. Oh, wow. Was that... Oh! Because Ditto keeps its HP. Oh, it does not keep my Zacian's HP. It keeps its HP, which is great, because now we can bring out our Politoed, and Politoed should be able to just finish things off by going for... I mean, yeah, Scald will be enough. There's no way that they can beat both... what is it called? Beat both Zacian and the Politoed. So we can just go for this. We can go for Scald. I don't want to reveal any information because Zacian only has single target. And so we will luckily be able to take home game number 1. So quick sending a GG to my opponent. And so now I'm trying to think, right? We saw the lead of Whimsicott Mindchow, and I think I could bring... Is there an argument for... No, I don't... There's not a good argument in my mind for swapping out any of these 4. Just because of the fact that we need answers for Calyrex. The only thing I could do... Oh, we're going to win the speed tie twice. Great. So the only thing I can do is switch the positions of both. Right? We want to put... Incin second, because that way we can make it so if they swap out their Ditto, it's going to be a Rillaboom, and I'm okay with it being Rillaboom. I don't want it being my Zacian. So let's see, let's keep playing. But this is one thing about being really bulky Zacian, is the fact that since Ditto is copying my HP, or is not copying my HP, where a majority of my bulk is, like, they are losing quite a bit. So let's go into this. I think the same 4 does make sense. I think the fear is going to be Indeedee. Indeedee, no, because Rillaboom will beat Helping Hand Indeedee with Calyrex. So we know that Incin Rilla beats Calyrex Shadow. So the question then is, how do we want to do this? I want to put Rillaboom on the left, Incin on the right, Zacian, and then Politoed. Right? I don't see a point of changing this. Kingdra... Does Kingdra do anything? Kingdra, no, it's not worth it because of the fact that I would need to sacrifice either Incin or Rillaboom, and I think both of them... They both offer way too much. Yeah, Incin, I need Incin for Calyrex. Yeah, I think, so what we want to do then is, I think by having it this way, we can essentially go for the same game plan, right? Because their team was very, we saw what? Calyrex in the back, and Ditto. Their team really relies on Calyrex for damage output, because of the fact that Ditto, you don't always know what you're going to get. Obviously, there is the good chance you are going to get a restricted if you can position yourself right. And then Mindchow, not really the biggest damage source. So I don't see a good reason to not bring Mindchow, but I really wish that they wouldn't bring Mindchow. Because that puts on a lot of immediate pressure. And honestly, sometimes it makes me consider like Rocky Helmet Incineroar. Nope, I'm not going to do Rocky Helmet Incineroar. Maybe. I think Goggles is too important given the amount of Rage Powder you see. But at the same time, like, I haven't seen a single Rage Powder all day, versus Rocky Helmet would have just really been huge. So lead, we are going to see Mindchow and Urshifu. So lead and lead. So this is tricky, right? Because we know, and it is Urshifu Dark, which I think makes a lot of sense. So I'm guessing they expect me to switch out from my Incin, right? You expect the switch out from Incin to Zacian. And so what I want to actually do is glide into Mineshaw. And yeah, let's glide into Mineshaw and go for a fake out onto Urshifu. Because this is actually a really risky read of, okay, so they played smart and they did not go for a close combat onto, I mean, they just went for a close combat onto Rillaboom. Interesting. Okay, so they expected my Rillaboom to switch out into probably Zacian. And so now the big question is, what we have a good way of knocking out Mineshaw. We have seen it set. The problem though is I'm guessing they kept Rillaboom alive because they saw that Rillaboom Urshifu's choice banded. I'm guessing Urshifu's choice banded, right? Because we know the focus sash is on Mineshaw, and that would make the most sense. So we don't actually. So what we need to scout what they're gonna do. They are at -1. This is a little bit tricky. I'm guessing they got rid of Whimsicott, right? We are gonna see a Mineshaw swap out, and they are going to bring out Ditto, which is really great because now they get an Incineroar. But what you have to go for. This is actually fine, right? Because you're swapping out into Incineroar, which means that you are choice locked and you're most likely going to go for a Flare Blitz. And so I would honestly, Politoed is great because I don't want them to have information. And so now what I want to do is I have to eat a choiced attack from Rillaboom, which is not fun. But with the rain up, I'm not worried about Urshifu too much. We are gonna. Oh yeah, they have Wicked Blow. We are gonna see Rillaboom go down. This does just make things a little bit tricky because now what you have to Flare Blitz with Instant. I mean, you could fake out. So I want to bring out Zacian because I do expect the Urshifu to be banded, just given the fact that we know that the Focus Sash is on the what is it called? On the Mineshaw. So I want to actually substitute and go for a Scald onto the Urshifu, expecting the Urshifu to swap out. Right? I expect Urshifu to swap out and Ditto to try and go for, or I expect Ditto to swap out. And I expect that Urshifu is locked into the Wicked Blow, which isn't going to do much into Zacian. So I'm banking on that letting me get up a free sub. And I think if we get Zacian behind a sub, we are going to be in a really good position. And I don't know if, what is it called? Okay, so we are going to see the swap out, which is good, probably into Calyrex. Yep. So we know, yeah, they have Ditto, they have, so we know their whole team. Oh, so you're locking into Fake Out, which is fine with me. We are going to be able to get a big Scald off into this Calyrex, which is going to do not that much, but we do get the burn. So that's super big. We also do have Urshifu. I mean, not Urshifu. We do have Incin really healthy in the back. So what I want to do is, I don't actually know Politoed's Calyx. I know that we can go for a Behemoth Blade into this slot really safely and swap out into Incineroar. Because Incineroar is at full health. We know that we can take at least one Astro Barrage with Incin, which will let us protect and go for a second. And the thing is what? You either bring out Mineshaw. We need them to bring out Mineshaw. That's actually the thing. That's tricky though, because I don't know if Zacian can live. I don't need it to live 2 because okay, so Calyrex will be at neutral. We're guaranteed to live 1, which means we can put Calyrex to -1. Whatever is switching into the Ditto slot has to take a Behemoth Blade. So we're going to see it swap out. We are going to see the Urshifu come out, which is a little bit scary, just due to the fact that actually I think Urshifu can live. Oh, that's actually really scary. Because Urshifu, I don't think Urshifu goes down to a Behemoth Blade, which is scary. We are gonna. Oh, okay. So we see Calyrex protect. So this puts us in a really good position, right? Because we can go for a Behemoth Blade, and the question is, do we pick up the knockout? I don't think we do, right? We are going to. Unfortunately not, but Calyrex just protected. Calyrex cannot knock out Incineroar, so what we can do is we can Behemoth Blade into... So we Behemoth Blade into Calyrex and go for a Fake Out into Urshifu, because this is safe. We know that Calyrex cannot outspeed... I mean, not Calyrex. We know that Urshifu does not outspeed Zacian. So what we can do from this spot is we are going to be really low, which is unfortunate because we will... this is actually tricky, right? Because what happens then is you do have Mineshaw. Mineshaw makes this hard. We are going to see no switch out. Urshifu, please go down. Is not going to go down as the Astral Barrage is going to come out and do... how much into Zacian? That's actually really good damage, right? I'm confident that we can live whatever they want to go for, as we are going to pick up the knockout onto their Calyrex. So it's a 3-hit KO. Hit KO onto Zacian plus Ensign. And so what happens now is you bring out Mineshaw. Right, you bring out Mineshaw, you Fake Out into Zacian, and you... or you could bring out Ditto. Ditto is scary. Yeah, okay, so you bring out Ditto, which is fine. I want to get rid... So this is hard, right? I want to... I'm going to go for a Behemoth Blade into Ditto and swap out into Politoed, right? Because there's no more grassy terrain, so there's no more recovery. This is tricky, right? It's just hard because they have Ditto in the right slot, as we do see they are going to win this. Oh, because their choice, they're choice locked. Okay, this is a little tricky, but it's fine because they're still choice locked because we didn't knock off this time. So we are going to see the close combat come out into Politoed. Politoed is going to be able to take that really well. And so what I'm guessing what happens now is we can bring out Ensign, right? We have a guaranteed Fake Out into the Urshifu slot. Yeah. So we bring out Ensign. Nope. We bring out Ensign here. Zacian, they probably want to swap out their Ditto, just given the fact that Behemoth Blade is not going to be doing much damage into either of them. So it's actually really great that we have them choice locked, because we know what they can go for. They cannot copy me again. So what we do is we Fake Out into Urshifu, and we go for a Scald into the Ditto slot. The main issue, though, is I actually should have... No, that was a misplay. That was a big misplay, because what I should have actually done is I should have doubled the Urshifu slot. No, because Urshifu went for close combat. Sorry, I'm talking a lot because I get really excited. Urshifu went for a close combat onto the Ditto, which means that they do have lower defense, so this will pick up the knockout there. They're not going to swap out the Zacian, so they are going to just Behemoth Blade into Incineroar, and so we can go for a really safe Scald just into the Zacian, or into the Ditto, and we're not going to get the burn. But what we can do now is we should double up into Mineshaw, because once Mineshaw is gone, we do have Politoed versus this Zacian, and Politoed will win every time. So there's no reason in my mind to not just go for a Flare Blitz here, as well as a Scald into that slot. Because then, yeah, because what? Behemoth Blade's going to come out. Oh, into Politoed. Oh, that was not supposed to happen. I did not expect to go down to that. Okay, so really good play by my opponent there. Oh yeah, that was a big shock. Okay, so because it is +2, so it does make sense. Yeah, I did not expect to have my Politoed go down to that. So this time we saw what? Calyrex lead. Or no, we saw Mineshaw lead with Urshifu. What do we do? I mean, what? I could lead with Kingdra. Right? I'm thinking we lead Poly Kingdra with Rillaboom. Because I don't expect them to bring Whimsicott. So what I'm thinking is if you bring your Shifu, right? Kingdra's in a no, because Kingdra has to deal with Fake Out from Mineshaw. Because the fear is you Wicked Blow and let's try Poly Kingdra. I think Poly Kingdra with Rillaboom and Zacian is probably our best bet, right? And the idea is if you lead with Mineshaw, the fear is Mineshaw or Shifu. Mineshaw or Shifu is really scary because of the fact that you have guaranteed pressure onto Kingdra turn 1. Because you can Fake Out with Mineshaw and then go for Wicked Blow, and there's no counterplay to that, right? I can't Fake Out the Mineshaw. I can't set up terrain to stop it, and so I have to just eat a ton of damage as a result of that. And I think it is going to be really risky giving up Incin. Incin does really well into Calyrex. And, I mean, that's about it. Incin actually isn't the best option in this game. And I think Kingdra is a much better one, especially given the fact that it has access to things like Icy Wind, which if we can get an Icy Wind on a Calyrex, like we're in a really good spot. We do have Hurricane to threaten both Mineshaw and Urshifu, but the scary lead is going to be Mineshaw or Urshifu, because I don't have a counterplay to that, because that's guaranteed to knock out whatever my opponent chooses, and I have to hope that they chose to target into Kingdra and then swap that out for Zacian, but Zacian's not going to like taking that, especially okay. Okay, this is fine. We do see Indeedee and Urshifu, which is actually still less than ideal, because Indeedee does have Follow Me. But Indeedee also doesn't have... What is it called? Indeedee does not... It has Psychic Seed. We swap Politoed for Zacian. And... Swap Politoed for Zacian. Go for a Hurricane. So that way, if you redirect, we get the chance of confusion to prevent a subsequent turn of them going for Follow Me. Right? This is super risky, because if I lose my Kingdra, I think I'm in a bad spot. We are going to see that come out. This is actually probably as bad as seeing the Mineshaw lead, because yep, we are gonna see Follow Me. So the question is, are we going to get a confusion with this Hurricane? This Hurricane comes out, hoping for Psychic Seed. We do get so we do get the confusion, which is huge, as we are gonna see the Wicked Blow come out, and the Wicked Blow is gonna go into Kingdra and get the knockout. So that's super tricky. We can, okay, so we bring out Rillaboom, right? Because now, oh, Rillaboom can put on Fake Out pressure. So I can just go for a Sacred Sword into the Urshifu slot and Fake Out into the Indeedee. But then they have Helping Hand. We Behemoth Blade here and go for a Fake Out onto Indeedee. Though this, I mean, the swap out from Indeedee is really obvious. The question is, what do you swap out? I'm going to go for a Behemoth Blade and a Fake Out into Indeedee. I think this is really risky. I think something is going to switch out. We are going to see the Indeedee switch out, as it is going to be Calyrex, a little bit less than ideal, especially because we are... Yeah, so we don't get the Fake Out, which is tough because obviously it's immune. We are going to get the Behemoth Blade off into Urshifu, which unfortunately I don't think is going to pick up the knockout. Yeah, it's as the Wicked Blow is going to come out probably into the Rillaboom. Yeah, we are okay. So Rillaboom lives. This is actually really crucial, right? Rillaboom lived, which means we know that the Urshifu is banded. And so what? We are going to Blade there. You're going to swap out into Indeedee. Yeah, Urshifu's going to swap out into Indeedee. And that's what you have to do. You have to swap out Urshifu into Indeedee to make it so Grassy Glide does not pick up the knockout and you protect Calyrex. That's the play my opponent has to make. So you protect Calyrex. And we are going to be able to get the... Oh, because now you bring out Indeedee. You can go for Follow Me. And I don't have a counterplay to that, right? Because you Follow Me, we pick up the knockout, and then you will have +1 Calyrex with... what is it called? You will have +1 Calyrex next to an Indeedee that can just go for a Helping Hand and then pick up the knockout from there. So this is, yeah, I mean, you bring out... I don't see any other thing to not go for that because it just is such an easy play. Because I will have to spend a turn knocking out this Indeedee. But, I mean, at the same time, it is a 3-hit KO onto Zacian. And so Zacian... with Politoed, actually might be able to survive, especially if we go for... Oh, ugh. I hate this stupid Ditto. Sad face. We go for that, and we... go for a knockoff on the Ditto? No, I want to preserve its item. So I'm just going to go for a Grassy Glide just to get a little bit of chip, taking advantage of the fact that Ditto, what is it called? Does not have my HP stat. But yeah, you Behemoth Blade into Zacian, and the question is how much... yeah, +2, which means that this Astro Barrage will pick up the KO. And there, from this point, there's nothing that I can do from here, right? I just have my little Politoed versus a +2. So, what could I have done, right? Given their lead of Indeedee Urshifu, I would have had to set up... I guess I would have had to have... I would have had to figure out a way to get... I can just go for a Haze in the event that they both protect, even though Zacian is Scarfed. Yeah, I would have needed to have Politoed come out instead of Zacian, right? If I had Politoed out next to the Rillaboom, the turn that they went for Ditto, then I would have made it so they copied my Politoed, and then I would have been able to knock out the Calyrex from there. But really great set from my opponent. I think they played really well. I did use Calyrex as my kind of favorite during Series 8, so if I had to lose to any restricted, I'm glad it's that. But I hope all of you enjoyed. I hope all of you are wonderful, and yeah, I'll see all of you next time.